Welcome back, fans of the beard. We've got another hot and fresh game for you today. WarTales is here. It is out of early access, and the full 1.0 has released. I did play this game a little bit in early access, and I gotta tell you, I loved it. So, we're gonna go ahead and start up a new game. Our companions are apprentice friends looking for an adventure. Looks like we start with some influence. We start with a little less raw materials, but we start with a swordsman, archer, ranger, and a brute. My companions are men escorting merchants who lost their employer. We get some extra crowns. We minus a little bit of medicine. We get a swordsman, a warrior, a spearman, and a brute. We could have some deserters fleeing an abusive captain. We start with some extra raw materials, but we also get a little bit of suspicion. We have a swordsman, warrior, archer, and ranger. We could have young farmers looking for a better life, a little bit of bread, but a little less happy. A brute, spearman, and archer, or bandits looking to escape the guard, which braised chicken is what we have that are stolen, +2, and cloth that is stolen, +6. And brute, couple rangers, and an archer. Well, knowing how I like to play the game, the rangers I absolutely love. They are such fun units to have. I love rangers. But it's also important to have a good front line. So let's see. So deserters, I also would get a ranger out of that. Or apprentice friends, I would get a ranger out of that. Swordsman, brute, archer. This is a very standard lineup to start with here. If you were first starting this is probably what I'd recommend going with, because this is just an absolutely good standard group. This would also probably be a pretty good standard group to go with. But I think that I'm going to go with the bandits looking to escape the guard. Play with a few of those rangers starting out from the very beginning here. Oh, look at that. The little cards move along in which ones we figure out which ones we're doing. Our companions are used to long walks, which reduces the speed at which the troops' fatigue stacks by 10%. They're cunning fighters. Experience gained in combat increased by 10%, and influence gained after battle increased by 10%. That one we're probably going to go with. We could have incredible resilience, which constitution increased by 10%. Constitution is good in this game, but armor is a little bit more worthwhile, I think. And constitution is a little less meaningful. Excellent at slap games. Critical damage increased by 10%. Oh, that might be something to look at too. Experience is it's hard to argue with extra experience though. Suspicion reduced by 15% during a theft. I don't plan on being thieverism too much. I like it, and I think they do a really good job in this game with theftum, but I don't really particularly care to do it too much. The game does a really good job. It's very simple. It's elegant in terms of how they handle being thieves, but I just don't particularly want to play that way. So I shan't. Critical damage is nice. I really, really like that critical damage bonus because I've got those rangers, and so that crit damage could be very important. But it is really hard to beat getting that extra experience. Influence is nice too, but that experience is gonna be what I want here, I think. If they had a flaw, it would be a somewhat meek appearance, whereas they all get carrying capacity decreased by 1. They could have eternal dissatisfaction. I like the sound of that. Reduces the troops' happiness by 1 during each rest. That sounds absolutely terrible, though. Crit hit reduced by 3 for an uncommon bout of bad luck. Hard pass. A very hard time getting up. Danger during rest increased by 10%. Okay, well, maybe. An attitude that does not inspire trust. The suspicion meter depletes 5% slower. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're not planning on being shifty. We're not planning on doing much of the thieverisms. And that's the suspicious meter is directly tied to that and murders. So we don't plan on really doing too much of either one of those. Okay, this I haven't explored too much, but it's kind of hard to know which one I really want more. I am pretty positive that I like the region-locked exploration more. The adaptive exploration, everything that you do always gets harder. And at least in early access, it felt like the rewards didn't catch up in the same way that the enemy's difficulty caught up, that the rewards were still, a good amount of them were still region locked, but the battles weren't. So the battles got more difficult, and the rewards after the battles did increase as well, but the quests that you had available didn't scale up in terms of the rewards from the quests. So I think that the region locked is going to be a little bit better for us. So that's what we're doing. We're going right on down the line. We can start in Chilton, Vertruce. Ooh, we might want to do that because I have not started here. I've started in Tiltron both times. So it might be fun to start somewhere kind of completely new. If this is where it is, where I think it is, I've still spent some time in there, but not nearly as much as I've spent in Chilton. So that would be fun. You can change the difficulty at any time of these, which is kind of nice, but we're going to go ahead and go experience with both of these. Save mode, we're going to go free. If I wasn't doing the videos, then limited or Ironman might be kind of fun, but definitely going with free just to make things a little bit easier with the video format. And changing the save mode, I feel like sometimes makes things like weirdly hard if you just have random stuff that happens to you during the game. So these are our characters. We can change a little bit about them. We're not going to mess with any of this. They are who they are. We can't change most of their starting weapons. We can a few of them. But like the Rangers, they just get a knife. That's who they are. But we can change their utility deal. So we can give them run. We can give them wrath. We can give them first aid. We're going to give them wrath. Their traits. Let's see here. There's a bunch of different stuff that we can give them here. Whoa, hardworking. That is new, and 20% more profession experience. That's actually really meaningful. Professions matter in interesting ways. Clever is probably something we want. Let's go ahead and go with clever and see if we can... Yep, okay, so we can add 2 positive traits, and I think they're going to require us to add a negative trait if we do add 2 positives. So if we increase their dexterity by 5%, I think that will increase their crit hit chance as well. But I'm not 100% positive. So we're just going to go with the crit hit chance, because I think that the dexterity will also help with their the damage of their knife, but honestly I'm not 100% positive if it'll be strength or dexterity, so we're just going to go with the crit chance. Glutton will eat an extra food a day. Pickpocket will cost an additional 3 in wages. Earns 20% less profession experience. Definitely don't want that one. Movement reduced by 1. Don't want that. Constitution reduced by 5%. Carrying capacity reduced by a couple. Willpower reduced by a couple. Or you have to consume alcohol with every one. I think I'm actually going to do minus Constitution because these guys shouldn't really get hit too much. I'm doing a poor job if they're getting hit too much. Carrying capacity is nice, but there's ways to get around that, so I could see getting rid of some carrying capacity there. Let's see, so she can gain, we can do aim, which the range of the next attack is doubled, and precision is enhanced. Basically, they aim further and they're less likely to miss. We have run, we have first aid. We're gonna go. Excuse me, good heavens. We're going to go ahead and give her first aid. First aid is just kind of a nice little extra thing. Well, hold on. It heals a dying ally for 10% of their max health. I think I will go ahead and give her first aid anyway, because just having someone there to be able to heal someone if they're dying is a big deal. Dexterity, I'm pretty positive deals with crit hit or damage or something, and I know that dexterity is going to matter for the bow, so we're going to go that way. We are also going to have her constitution go down by a bit. Ranger, we're going to have the exact same thing as the other guy. They're just going to do the same thing. Bloodthirsty, clever, and of course, they're going to... Oh, look at that. He can't have minus. That's interesting. Alright, okay. Well, that's fine. We are going to have him be a loafer. The carrying capacity is going to be reduced by 3. We can get more horses as we go along, which is a big deal. We're going to have his constitution increased by 5 because that matters for carry weight. You can fight with... but he could be stocky instead. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and be stocky and brawny. Because the you can have your horses be carnivores and drunkards, so they'll only eat meat and they have to have alcohol. It's really funny, but we're not going to do that because we don't want to have to carry alcohol. But you can fight with your horses, or they can just be carry animals. We're going to have we're going to have him be unlucky, just in case we want to fight with him later on. And so these guys, we can change their starting weapons. They can have a two-handed maul or board and stick here. And we can have him have wrath, taunt, or first aid. I think first aid is what we're going to do. Taunt is good, but depending on what weapons you have and what you're doing, you can still pull people away and force them to engage with you. And we'll kind of go over that a little bit. So taunt is good, but not quite as good as just attacking in general. So we're going to make this guy be clever, and the base guard, I think, is what we're going to increase. I think that, because that 3%, that concerns me a little bit. I think that still is going to be based off of their armor. So that's what we'll do there. And we be unlucky. I could care less if he crits anyone. So we'll go ahead and start. That was a lot of talking, a little bit of the way through. That is unfortunately quite a bit of the episode. But I wanted to kind of give a really good, solid explanation of what we were doing with each of our guys. It was all very straightforward. Petty theft, highway robberies, a purse of coins handed to a childhood friend and now serving in the guard, and your companions always got off scot-free. This simple, honest life of a merry gang of bandits. Except for that one last score. The one that targets the wrong person. The victim who is out for revenge after running away in a very disorderly fashion. Your troop has reached a new region. Surely, here they will find many new opportunities to get rich quickly. After all, one person's loss is another's gain. Alright, so our companions are always selected. And we're going to go off. We're going to pick up these mushrooms. And we'll just go ahead and head right on over here to the thing. Did someone already... What? What? This is confusing. Why is someone already leveled up? I guess I'm not going to complain. So when you level up, a couple of things happen. Depending on the level, you can get extra bonuses or specialize. So for the specializations, sometimes you can get new armor chances. So if we pick the Vanguard or Smasher, we can wear medium armor. Whereas if we get the Destroyer, we wear heavy armor. And we have an active ability. So we can get with the Relentless Charge, the Poisoned Impact, which is pretty cool, or the Weakening Blow. The heavy armor is definitely where we want to go. Oh, and they also give extra stats. Heavy armor is a big deal. We're definitely wanting to get that. And then we get to select some attributes. We select one of these attributes, and however many pluses are next to that attribute, that's how many points are applied. So if we were to click willpower, we'd get +1 willpower. If we were to get crit hit, then we would get +2%. I think it's percent crit hit. At least it was in early access. We probably want to put some into dexterity and constitution, and probably some to get into willpower. We want to get that 15 breakpoint for willpower, because at 15, the unit survives the first time they should die, which is pretty cool. However, we're not getting bonus, we're not getting any more than 1 for any of those. So actually, we are going to not level him up yet, because we can do something about that a little later. I'm going to go into the town hall. I just want to see if there's like a quest or something that we can get here. Oh. There's some rats.
Of course it's trying to find its away. But what can I do? Now that the I just don't understand why the villagers double check everything several times a month. But there's no denying it. We've got leaks. Someone is robbing us blind.
It was me! I was robbing you blind. Oh, we can inspect over here. Okay, I recommend calling upon broker Clemens Ald Marheim's charity to cover some of the cost. I urge for moderation during the preparations of the next Festival of Light. I wonder if that has anything to deal with the thieverisms that are happening. So we could use a lockpick to try and bust this open. We don't have a lockpick though, so we shan't. Didn't pick up a quest. Picked up an idea for a quest. So let's talk to this informant. They're going to give us... So in each province, there's a little bar that we fill up, and we finish the province once we've gotten... I think it's been all 5 quests. And we can buy these for the currency of influence, and they just give us an idea of where the quest is, or maybe they just give us the the stuff. I don't know. I've never bought them because I've always just done the quests. Here we get little like mercenary contracts. So these are going to be where we're going to get most of our money. We can accept a few of them. I'm going to start off with this easy one here. I'm not going to do the rat infestation because those aren't that easy. They're kind of difficult, especially if you want to get bonus stuff from them. But we are not touching that right now with a 10-foot pole. We are not going to explain all that because there's no really good reason. As we're walking along, oh, well, fine, I guess it won't continue on with us walking. It shouldn't, it should pause us, but I thought that it might continue on. As we gain knowledge, we can gain extra little feats, and the one that I'm looking for here is the career plans, because you can spend influence to add bonus pluses to an aptitude to your stats as you level up. So I want that before we level up good old phlegm here. Oh hey, this is our quest right here. So it looks like they are level 1. We've got Rewita, the Violet, as the leader, and she's got a henchman and a raider with her. So we're gonna go on and like give her the stabby stab. When your turn comes, you can play any unit. You can find out which enemy will come. Other things. So down here is the turn order. Anytime we see these blue swords, that's us, and we can just pick any of our dudes, which is pretty awesome. And then we see which of the enemy are going which times. And before we start, all of these blue squares are the different places that we can put our people right at the beginning. They're turned the way that they're going to start off the battle. So we're going to go ahead and have these guys be arranged a little bit like this. We can see where they can move by hovering over their movement in this fashion. So we're going to go ahead and start. Anyway, we can start at any time, and we just have a person actually physically do it. We're going to move him over here to hit this guy, and he's just gonna give him the old whack. Each one of these active abilities with a little orange diamond use up one of these valor points, which we can get back a couple of different ways. They're engaged now for these swords, so since they're engaged, when this guy ends his turn, which he shall do, we can actually go up behind him here. See, we've got facing here. So he's going to go up behind him. And since he is a rogue, he's a ranger, he has that ambush thing because of his knife. And it increases the crit hit chance by an extra 30%. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try and stab him in the back. And we did indeed get a crit hit. It did not do very much damage, though. A portion of that is because they have the leader's protection, so damage is taken is reduced by 15%. So you have to actually move on through the next turn as you select your next person to go to go on to the next person. Armor, which is the top bar, it comes back after the battle, not before, not each turn. So that is kind of important to note. So now that I'm targeting him, we have a 71% chance to hit Rewita, and we have a 29% chance to hit our brute, good old phlegm here, or we can hit this raider here, and it'll show us the amount of damage that it's likely to do. We're going to go and hit this raider here for 4 to 6 damage. The little round shield, it is, next to the person shows how much damage it's being reduced by. So normally we do 5 to 8% or 5 to 8 damage. We're not doing quite that because we've got the armor, the Raider's protection, and the armor reduces this bow's damage by 10%. So that's all stacking up together on top of him. And then he's done. We can split up moving however we'd like. This person has prepped a swing that he will complete next turn for all of the units, including this guy, that he will swing at next turn, which means that I can move these guys away, and he won't be able to actually deal any damage to them, and we'll have to prep another swing. Or I can leave a guy here and have him hit his own dude, which would be pretty cool. He can't do anything, he's too far away. The walking was hard for him. So they're engaged now, so he can't run behind and flank because he would have to disengage. And it triggers an attack of opportunity, which we don't like. Attack of opportunities are the bad. So this little exclamation mark is when he's going to go. So this henchman is going to go before anyone else. That's fine, there's not really much else to do here. I'm not sure what to do with this raider here. I can maybe move behind and give him the stab, but I really want to take this person out. Let's see how much damage they're doing. They're doing 6 to 8 per turn, and they're doing 8 to everybody, and they're doing 4 to 5 each turn. So this person's going to do the most if we let them continue on their way. So we'll go ahead and we will backstab him here. Nice. Got another crit hit on them. Hard to be upset about that. 100% chance to hit, dealing 5 to 7 damage. Just 5. Okay. We are going to go ahead and I wonder if we should actually weaken them, because damage is reduced by 5 or by 50%. I think that might be worth it. And we get to smack them. We can do as many actions as we want, unless there's some orientation that allows us not to. For instance, you can only do one base action or attack per turn. So there's, sometimes we'll have 2 opportunities to do multiple base actions, but we can only do one. This isn't a base action. It is a melee skill, not an base action. So, yep, just 3 damage. Not too shabby. We're going to stab him back, because otherwise we're going to take an attack of opportunity. He's going to swing, hit him for 8. Oh, he should have hit him too. Or her, I guess. That. Yeah, to all units in the area. And they're in the area. There's overlap here. How silly. Okay, well, let's see here. If we crit hit on this guy, that may indeed do enough damage to kill him. Probably not. Oh, but we can use Wrath now. Nice. So 45 damage to the target if they have less than 50% health remaining. We have a very good chance. Oh no, they're just at 4. Yeah, so they're dead no matter what. Which is great. And we're going to move on over here so that we are prepped for the next deal. And now we have Fury too, so we've got a bunch of stuff going for us this next round. We are going to move over just a tad so that our next shot we don't have an opportunity to miss. I really want to hit that guy, but there's a lot in the way, so we're going to hit him. Her, I guess. Sorry. And give them a little bit more time to whack us here, unfortunately. They're just going to slug it out. Gonna hit me with an axe. No thank you. Pass. Would like to avoid all that again. So we've got this person is not going to kill them, and this person's going to take forever to kill him. So if we go right here, I think we have a really good, maybe right here, we have a really good chance of hitting this person, which I would like to do. And going to be ending that turn. We're going to do the old Stabber McStabberston from behind here. And we're going to run up on over here so that we're ready to hit him next time. This guy's going to finish him off. And we are going to run on over here so that we're ready to whack somebody next time. So now that we've got him surrounded, he will take all damage. All damage taken is increased by 20%, which is pretty sweet. Well, I've got a lot of people here. We won't be able to kill him unless we crit, which we did. Oh, which gained the trait Glorious, which is pretty sweet because that is a really good skill. Oh, and we got a Corporal's Plate Armor. Nice. This armor is valued for more for its resilience than for its aesthetic quality. We got a bunch of guard and a bunch of armor off of that, but it takes quite a bit of movement away. We can grab human remains in this. When you hit loot all, it takes everything that is currently usable or sellable, which does not currently include human remains, but it may sometime in the future. Each time that we damage our armor above a certain amount, or at all, we need to repair it with raw materials, of which we have 20. It's not always worthwhile because it's not like if you do like 1 or 2 points of damage to your armor, then you don't want to spend a whole bit of material repairing it. But if it's all the way broken, as R2 were, then it's absolutely worth it to repair it, because you don't get the guard or the armor if you don't do so. And we also have a couple of people that are injured. We are going to go ahead and heal them with our medicine, of which we have 5. We can also right click and get this guy leveled up here. So for the specialization, each time this unit ends their turn next to an enemy and isn't engaged, we gain a temporary Valor point. Those little orange diamonds, those are permanent ones that last from battle to battle. These yellow ones are temporary ones that only last for the current battle. Each time this unit kills an enemy, you gain 1 temporary one. And each time this unit ends their turn next to an ally and isn't engaged in combat, you gain 1 temporary Valor point. We are going to go with Valorous Victory. Our Rangers are going to be killing machines. I've decided for them. You guys are welcome. So, same thing. I want to improve crit hit or the dexterity, I think. Because, let's see here. Yep, the shivs, the daggers are dexterity, weapons. So dexterity is good for them. So really looking for dex or crit hit. And The crit damage is only 28% right now, but we can increase that a little later through various means. We have completed a mission, and we can report back to Marheim. However, before that, we are going to give this guy this dope armor. These silly little rags are not useful, not as useful to us. The numbers in the parentheses are the changes that we can expect to see if we equip this instead, which is really, really nice. I really like that it just shows us, hey, these are the differences, and very plain, it includes attributes that aren't necessarily listed normally on the armor if it changes, which is really, really nice. I really, really appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and exit out and head on back. We're going to go ahead and turn in the quest before we end the episode, just because it feels like we need to finish out in some way, right? Oh, we went to the town. We don't go to the town hall. We go to the tavern. We're going to talk to them. And we're going to turn in the bounty. We got 190 gold. Our wages right now are 50. And we have 3 rests that we take before the next wages are due. So we can see if there are some new quests, which there aren't. The next contract is in 15 hours. So we may want to take a medium one just to have it. And we can talk to a couple of these other people. So he's talking about a little story. He saw a wolf come out of the water, the fish. There's a sign from the eye. It is ordering me to stop betting on gladiator fights and go find myself a wife. What about that story says to go find a wife? That's strange. The eye is the thing they worship. That's their religion. That's not meaningful. That doesn't mean anything to me. He just says the same thing again. Okay. Usually the people in here are adventurers that we can hire. Oh, this is the bro. So I guess it might be just people with backpacks. I bet my family used to be part of the broker council, but today I must sell my services to pay back my debts. So we can recruit them if we want, but we want to make sure that we want them before we recruit them. Warrior is nice, and he is thick-skinned, which is a big deal for what we're looking for. What about this guy? You can right-click instead. A ranger. Ooh, I like rangers, but I don't know that we need 3 of them right now. Brutes are great, and he's bloody, so he's got increased constitution. But if we're going to grab anyone right now, then we're going to grab this guy. The nice thing about this game, too, is that you really can include just about any number of people in your party. There is a cap. I'm not sure exactly what it is when you field people, but it's a pretty high cap. You are limited in your mercenary company based on how much food you want to be paying them, or how much food you want to be using each day, and how much gold you want to be paying them each pay period. Which, you get too many people and all of a sudden you're paying a lot of money just to give to them, and you're paying a lot of money in food or figuring out other means for food. So you wind up having kind of a cap on the number of people based on how many resources you're actually able to gather. And as your people level up and get better, they expect more crowns, they expect more gold, so it's a little bit harder to get more and more people. So that is going to be it for this episode. I am super pumped to be playing this game again. with you guys. I love this game. I think that there's a lot going for it. We're going to continue looking at some more of the little intricacies of this game as we go along. But for now, that's what we have. The fights will get a little bit more intense and a little bit longer, and we'll be able to actually get into more of them because we won't be suffering through quite as much minutia of getting our characters all figured out. So, thanks for watching, and I hope everybody stays beardy out there.